Anyone who offers you cocaine is no friend. Say no. Don't do drugs.
News. It's everywhere you turn, but not everyone makes sense of it. The people of ABC News do, and they've been helping you understand for years. Jennings, Donaldson, Threlkeld, Salinger, people you know on ABC's World News Tonight.
Action news just ahead, the Freedom Fund dinner. It's the NAACP's largest fundraiser of the year. It was at that banquet tonight that an angry Mayor Coleman Young declared war on young criminals in Detroit and promised action that's certain to be controversial.
The bloodiest fighting in 7 years has erupted between Israel and the Palestinian Liberation Organization. We'll have that story. And a rebellion by soldiers in Argentina has been put down tonight. Guy?
Guy Gordon with Mary Conway. Join us for those stories and all the latest news. Jay Berry with sports, and Jim Madaus with his complete weather forecast. All next on our late night edition of Channel 7 Action News.
Some photo places give you the fast shuffle. They say you get a second set of photos free, but you can't even buy just one set. So how can they say you get a second free? At Meijer, you have a choice. You can get lower price single prints, or for just a little more, double prints. Either way, you'll pay less. And this week, save an extra 20% with Monday's one-stop shopping guide coupon. So come to Meijer for the best photo deal in town.
'Cause nobody does it better than you. And Meijer.
When you buy a new car and all the warranty claims sound too confusing, it's time to take it to Tough Coat Dynol. We'll give you an unlimited mileage long as you own the car warranty on all 3 services. Our 2-step penetrator direct spray rust protection, intercoat carpet and fabric protection, and System 6 exterior paint protection with Teflon. Getting a new car? Get 3-way total protection with warranties that can last as long as you own the car.
Take it to Tough Coat Dynol. Take it to Tough Coat Dynol.
On the next Kelly and Company. 2 people fall in love and get married, making their relationship legally binding. That's what society wants. But what about homosexuals who want the same right? We'll meet a lesbian couple who did get married by a pastor and are fighting for the right to make it legal. And then at 10, it's Oprah.
The fathers and husbands of rape victims on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
That's Kelly at 9, Oprah at 10, weekday mornings right here on 7. Siskel and Ebert in the movies, late night tonight on 7. From Michigan's #1 news station, this is Channel 7's Action News with Detroit's first news team.
Good evening, everyone. Some of the nation's most powerful political leaders and civil rights activists gathered in Detroit tonight. The NAACP's annual Freedom Fund dinner attracted thousands of people from across the country for the largest civil rights dinner in the history of the United States. Issues addressed included leadership, problems facing this nation, and growing concern about racism. But the most moving moment came when Detroit Mayor Coleman Young took the stage. On the heels of last week's fatal shooting of a Maury Wright High School student, Coleman Young made one of his most severe statements yet, declaring war on kids wielding guns in the schools of Detroit. Channel 7's Ken Ford has the report.
The audience of more than 8,000 people loved them. Political leaders like Governor Blanchard and Senator Levin and New York's Governor Mario Cuomo, who came to be the keynote speaker. They cheered as the NAACP's executive director issued a feisty notice to organize sports, including those here in Detroit. Start hiring black managers. But the audience went wild when Coleman Young spoke. His was a civil rights address, all right, but it was not the kind of address normally heard at a dinner like this.
I'm getting tired, and I'm sure you are, of kids shooting down kids. I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of kids carrying a gun to school the way they used to take a lunch. I'm telling you here and now, on this bright and beautiful Easter Sunday, that I'm determined to send the Detroit police into the schools and do a weapons search.
If the mayor is to be able to get as tough as he apparently plans, it's likely he'll need help from Lansing. The governor told me tonight he'll have it.
I don't know how you can let kids go into schools with guns and knives and not consider them potential killers. And I told the mayor, and I've done that before, I've told the prosecutor and others that the state will stand behind them in any effort they can to get weapons out of schools. Absolutely.
It's not likely these people will forget the NAACP dinner they attended tonight, a dinner at which they heard their mayor promise to crack down on youthful offenders, to fill the police department's gym if necessary, to step on the toes of youthful offenders before they put a bullet in somebody's head. The mayor's angry. It remains now to be seen whether that anger will make any difference. In Detroit, I'm Ken Ford, Channel 7 Action News reporter.
Contributions to the fundraising event tonight included an $85,000 donation from General Motors. The NAACP hopes tonight's strong turnout will help the organization reach its goal, which is $700,000.
Rebel soldiers in Argentina have laid down their arms tonight without any bloodshed. It was the Argentine leader who personally won the surrender. In a bold move, President Raul Alfonso met with the leader of the rebellious troops. Later, he told a crowd of supporters the mutineers would be detained according to the law. The rebel troops were holed up at a military base for 3 days before their peaceful surrender. They were demanding amnesty for soldiers accused of human rights violations. But there was some violence today. Supporters of the rebellious troops clashed with police. Ironically, the demonstrators were trying to prevent bloodshed. Just last Friday, the Argentine government withstood a similar troop uprising. Israeli soldiers are on alert tonight following an airstrike inside Lebanon. The air attack was a clear response to a PLO guerrilla raid in northern Israel. 2 Israeli soldiers were killed in that battle, called the bloodiest fighting in at least 7 years. It's believed the guerrillas crossed the border into northern Israel on a hostage-taking mission. All of the guerrillas were killed in the fighting. Just hours later, Israeli gunships opened fire on a Palestinian refugee camp. At least 2 Palestinians were injured during the attack, the first such assault by Israel since invasion of Lebanon in 1982. Meanwhile, PLO leader Yasser Arafat has scrapped an agreement with Jordan's King Hussein, calling for a joint peace plan with Israel. The move is seen as an effort to reunite the fractured PLO guerrilla movement. Guy?
They were throwing rocks and chanting, "Drive out the Americans." 1,500 students clashed with police in South Korea today. Police fought back with tear gas, beating and arresting hundreds of demonstrators. The students are protesting the South Korean government, calling it a military dictatorship influenced by Americans. The violent confrontation marks the anniversary of a demonstration in 1960 when 200 students were killed in a riot that toppled the government. Students in South Korea have been rioting for the past week to commemorate that 1960 protest. U.S. and Soviet officials are expressing optimism tonight that an arms deal can be reached within this year. Tonight, the Reagan administration is considering a proposal that would eliminate all medium-range nuclear missiles in Europe. The Soviets have also proposed eliminating short-range missiles. Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev called for the ban on short-range missiles during talks last week with Secretary of State George Shultz. While the administration ponders the Soviet proposals, some ranking Democrats are at odds tonight over an arms deal.
I think that this business of gradually eliminating sections of nuclear weapons is not a very smart idea, given the fact that as long as there's the conventional imbalance in Europe, we're going to need nuclear weapons.
We've reached a point where it's to our advantage, seems to me, to get a legitimate arms control agreement, one that is mutual and is verifiable, because then we can begin to make some dent in these huge deficits.
If the two sides are able to reach an accord, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev could meet with President Reagan later this year. Meanwhile, in another development today, the Soviets conducted 2 underground nuclear explosions. The tests come one day after similar weapons experiments here in the U.S. Mary?
A group which has frequently criticized the Star Wars missile defense program is at it again tonight. The Federation of American Scientists has released a study showing nearly half of the $10.9 billion in SDI contracts have gone to companies and labs in President Reagan's home state of California. New Mexico and Massachusetts follow on that list. Nearly 3/4 of the contracts went to corporations. Heading the list are Lockheed with $1 billion in contracts. General Motors has been awarded $734 million in SDI contracts as well. More questions are being raised tonight about the methods used by the Reagan administration during its investigation of the Iran arms scandal when it first became public. According to a report in the Washington Post, Attorney General Edwin Meese was aware of the transfer of funds from the arms sale to Contra rebels back in November. But Meese failed to ask former CIA Director William Casey about the transaction. At the time, Casey was in charge of all U.S. covert operations. But Mee says he did not think Casey would know anything about the scheme and therefore never asked him about it. Casey was hospitalized the day he was to testify before a congressional panel on that arms sale.
Representatives from the United States and Japan are visiting each other's countries tonight, trying to mend a trade relationship between the two, which has broken down in recent weeks. Japanese envoy Shintaro Abe arrived in Washington, D.C. today. He will take part in talks aimed at reversing President Reagan's decision last week to slap 100% tariffs on various Japanese electronic goods. Meanwhile, in Japan, U.S. trade representatives are attending a conference to promote trade between the United States and Japan. However, the Japanese foreign minister is accusing the U.S. of threatening free trade around the world with its stiff tariffs, and he says the action will influence other countries to follow suit.
Still ahead, Easter Sunday 1987. We'll show you the holiday celebrations in Detroit as well as around the world.
Plus, we'll have the story of how a Detroit girl's decision to attend Easter services may well have saved her from serious injury. That story when 7's Action News returns in a moment.
It's Sears Thrifty Monday, open early at 8 a.m. Save 10 to 50% on every regular priced item in the store. Thrifty Monday starting at 8 a.m. at Sears.
Give a little nibble, give a little nibble. Wendy's asks, before you eat your next hamburger, any hamburger, taste the meat. Give a little nibble. Is it dry and chewy or hot and juicy? Is it bland or is it tasty? Give a little nibble. No other hamburger has Wendy's hot and juicy taste. The more you nibble others, the more you'll love Wendy's.
Dodge Caravan. There's nothing quite like it on America's open road. Front-wheel drive, power steering, and power brakes are standard on Caravan, of course. Plus, there's plenty of room for people and cargo, and plenty of power, thanks to its newly available V6, the 87 Caravan, the only vehicle of its kind to be backed by a 770 protection plan. And you can still save up to $500 on special equipment discount packages. Caravan, in stock and ready for immediate delivery at your Dodge dealer today.
See one of the Greater Detroit Dodge boys today.
We at 7-Eleven believe that hot dog lovers are endowed with certain inalienable rights, that among them are the right to a quality hot dog, the liberty to use condiments of their choosing, from chili to cheese to jalapeno peppers, in whatever combinations they please, no matter how unusual.
Regular size hot dogs now 2 for 99 cents at today's 7-Eleven.
Millions of Christians around the world have spent this weekend celebrating Easter. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is certainly one of the most joyous occasions of the Christian faith. About 70,000 people gathered in the ancient city of Jerusalem to attend Easter services and to visit sites where historic events of the New Testament are believed to have taken place. In Rome, Pope John Paul II delivered Mass to hundreds of thousands of people in St. Peter's Square. The Pope told the world to remember that, quote, love is more powerful than death. In the United States, President and Mrs. Reagan celebrated Easter by attending church services near their vacation ranch in Santa Barbara, California. And here in Detroit, Archbishop Edmund Shaka delivered Mass at Holy Trinity Church in the city's Corktown district. Many families throughout Metro Detroit began celebrating this holiday by attending church services and then sharing a traditional Easter dinner at home with loved ones.
A Detroit girl's decision to go to Easter services this morning may have saved her from being seriously injured in a suspicious fire on the city's west side. Arson investigators are looking into the cause of a fire that destroyed Crystal Barwick's home shortly after she left for church. 3 people inside the house were injured in the blaze. Dwayne Barwick is being treated for burns at Detroit Receiving Hospital. He apparently did not know that his daughter, Crystal, had left the house. A neighbor tells Channel 7 News the man was injured when he tried to save his daughter.
He must have been sleeping and didn't know that she had gotten up and went to church this morning. He was screaming and just trying to get back in, and there was no way. The flames were just, even if she would have been in there, he would have never got back in there to get her.
The other 2 people injured in the fire are Marlene Lawson, who has been treated and released for smoke inhalation. Her 2-year-old son, Adam, is in fair condition at Children's Hospital in Detroit. He's being treated for burns and smoke inhalation. With more and more families needing 2 incomes just to meet monthly expenses, child care has become a major concern, and the problem becomes more complicated when you allow for illness. Channel 7's Dr. Dean Adele reports. Unfortunately, we don't have that story for you, but Dr. Dina Dell was going to tell us that approximately 3/4 of working parents call in sick when their child is sick. No solution, and a new solution being tried is daycare for sick kids only. Many worry that this can be dangerous to have kids in unfamiliar settings, but they think it's a good experiment, at least for now.
The White Sox have been looking for revenge against the Tigers, and by golly, they got it.
Yeah, I hope that's it, too. I'm sure they do, as far as the Tigers are concerned, being them. Good evening, everybody. 5 home runs at the old ball yard, this afternoon. Unfortunately, only one of them belonged to the Tigers, as Chicago gets a wee bit of revenge after losing 5 straight to the home team. 7-2 the final. First inning, Larry Herndon takes Floyd Bannister just inside the left field foul pole. And, folks, that was the Tigers' offensive show for the game. With the score tied at 2 in the 4th, Carlton Fisk puts the Sox on top to stay. Tigers fall 7-2. They take on the Yankees tomorrow over in New York. Talk about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. The Brewers did it today against the Rangers. After trailing 4-0, Dale Swain caps the comeback with his 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th. 6-4 Brewers the final, their 12th straight win. That sets an American League record for consecutive victories to start the season. A restaurant chain is giving away 112,000 hamburgers to celebrate the occasion. Hold the onions, please. But there was no holding back. Mike McCallum today, the WBA junior middleweight champ, pounded out a 10-round TKO over former welterweight champ Milton McCrory, who gave it his best shot but was clearly overmatched afterwards. He talked retirement. Sounds like a good idea to me. Got some more sports coming at you in the update. Heritage Golf, one of the wildest fights that you never did see, and the Insiders spotlighting hockey goalies in about 15 minutes. That's going to do it for now.
Herndon's really popping the ball, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got to be about his third or fourth.
Yeah, that's the best start he's had in a long time.
Yeah.
See you in a little bit.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, the wonderful heat wave isn't over yet, but it could start cooling off some before the week's end.
But who cares? We'll enjoy it while we've got it, right? Jim Madaus joins us with his complete weather forecast when 7's Action News continues in a moment, if I can get it out.
Through the clutter of mass merchandisers and small, costly grease pits, emerges a shining presence. Metro 25 Car Care Centers. And right now at your Metro 25 Car Care Centers, you'll get a free $100 U.S. savings bond when you buy 4 Tiger Paw Plus all-season radial white walls. Tiger Paw Plus is one of our most popular radials. Check your local newspaper for Metro 25 dealer specials.
When you use a Snapper, you get more than just a fast start. You get Snapper's worldwide reputation for rugged dependability and innovative features like our Snapperizer, Thatcherizer, and Pack and Sack. And Snapper's trimmers let you finish the job right with real weed-busting power that also converts to an edger or brush cutter. It's a snap with Snapper.
See Snapper's full line of products at Mark's Auto and More in Wyandotte and at Foot Tractor in Novi.
The game Monopoly has come to life at McDonald's. San Diego has 95,000 winners, Chicago 500,000, and Treasure Island, Florida 1,500. Play Monopoly at McDonald's and you could win too.
Look, Michigan, Nina Fox of Grand Rapids won $25,000 playing McDonald's Monopoly. Lots of people are winning, so come to McDonald's today and play.
I'm holding the future in my hand. The Dial-Light Forever bulb, guaranteed to last for 20 years. 20 years! So, how many ordinary light bulbs does it take to equal one Forever bulb? Quite a few. And remember, we guarantee it. Looks like a light shower.
Turn me on, I'll light your light forever, forever.
The Forever bulb from Dial-Light.
Police in Port Huron tonight are investigating the death of a 15-month-old girl who was reportedly taken from her mother at gunpoint. Jamie Lee Relke was abducted by 3 people posing as Department of Social Service workers Friday night. Her body was found behind a Port Huron carpet store the next morning. Police tell Channel 7 News the girl apparently died of natural causes, but they aren't being any more specific at this time. No suspects are in custody in the case.
The man who tried to kill President Reagan in 1981 could someday be set free. John Hinckley Jr. has been undergoing psychiatric treatment since being acquitted by reason of insanity. The judge who presided in that case has told reporters tonight that he would consider releasing Hinckley at some time. The prosecution has argued that Hinckley should never be released. Despite arguments, U.S. District Court Judge Barrington Parker told reporters the facts will determine whether about John Hinckley's future.
The underlying crime for which he has not been found guilty is assault, and that a person has been completely maimed for life. And you can't help thinking of that. But that should not stand in the way of your giving an impartial, a fair, and objective approach to the matter and deciding it based on the merits.
John Hinckley had hoped to spend Easter at home with his parents, unescorted. His doctor's request for an unescorted pass was rescinded after it was learned that Hinckley had been writing letters to convicted murderer Ted Bundy. Tonight, authorities in a Texas resort community are keeping the beaches open despite a vicious shark attack. A 16-year-old girl was the victim while swimming near Port Arkansas, Texas yesterday. A shark severed her arm. Experts are calling this attack a freak occurrence. However, they also admit this is the time of year that sharks swim into shallow water to raise their young. County officials have toured the area by helicopter but have no plans to close the beach, calling the attack an isolated incident. Some 150,000 people were expected to flock to the resort community to spend the holiday weekend.
Some business owners in Richmond, Virginia will spend Monday tallying their losses. About a 1.5 mile area of downtown Richmond is under 4 feet of water. The flooding was caused by heavy rain that hit the area last week. The James River is receding tonight after cresting nearly 16 feet above flood stage. The high water has claimed the life of at least one person. A young boy is listed as a drowning victim. Tonight, authorities are also searching for a missing 74-year-old woman. City officials say the flooding could have been worse. They credit a network of water pumps that is pulling water out of the area. Final damage estimates won't be available until the water fully recedes.
That's such a beautiful area.
It is, and that's a sad thing.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's all part of that big low-pressure system we've been watching all week, as a matter of fact, crawl across the United States. That's still out there, but we've had a beautiful day today, and we've got more great weather coming, as a matter of fact, here in the Detroit metropolitan area. Terrific day, 70s yesterday and 70s once again today. 74 is our high temperature here in Detroit. 47 was our early morning low, and no precipitation. And how about that 74 after a 73 yesterday? Can only top that by a 78 tomorrow, and that's our forecast. It's going to be a real nice day. Of course, temperatures are the main story from the weather department, and you can see some very mild readings across the Great Lakes. And look at these. The yellow ones, new records once again. 79 degrees for Marquette, 76 degrees for Sault Ste. Marie, 75 for Alpena, and 80 degrees, a new record for Traverse City today. And they must have been in the state of shock in Houghton. They got up to 85 degrees. Doesn't get up to 85 there very often, but look at that temperature. The warmest in the state. Of course, our 74 here in Detroit was simply beautiful. Across the rest of the nation, very mild readings to warm readings out west. Over 3 dozen cities set new record highs once again. Look at some of these readings. 89 degrees for Kansas City. It was 81 in St. Louis. 84 in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Fargo, North Dakota got up to 86 this afternoon, while farther south, lots of 90s. 90 even in New Orleans, Louisiana. Got up to 92 in Dallas-Fort Worth. 94 degrees in Oklahoma City. But look it out to the west. There's that pool of cooler air that's beginning to move across the country. It's in the northwestern United States right now. High temperatures only in the 40s and 50s for the most part there. 63 degrees, one of the warmer lower readings. That was at Rapid City, South Dakota, where they also had 60-mile-an-hour gusts today behind a very strong cold front that's moving very slowly across the nation. That will continue to move toward us and begin here by sometime Tuesday. And that's when we'll start our downward trend for temperatures and possibility of a little rain as well. So that's a story. They're basically confined to the west. Look at that 44 in Salt Lake City, Utah, where they had some measurable snow during the past 24 hours. Well, we'll add our clouds, and you can see most of them are confined to the western United States. Do have lots of clear skies right now, not only here in Michigan, but all the way down to Florida and all the way west to almost the Rocky Mountains. That cloud cover basically runs from, well, Minnesota right down through Nebraska, portions of the southwestern United States, and that's where the frontal system is right now. You can see it on the map. Here's a little low-pressure center up in the Dakotas, and again, this front will move very slowly across the nation. But ahead of it, those southerly winds, those mild temperatures, 70s and 80s once again tomorrow, will be near 80 here in Detroit. The only precipitation on the map, well, just a little bit in the east, right around portions of North Carolina today. Just a little drop of rain or two in Pennsylvania, and some raindrops out to the west, a couple thunderstorms in Wyoming, along with the snow in Utah. They had anywhere between well, 9 and 12 inches during the past 24 hours out there. Here's our map for tomorrow, and you can see, again, most of the moisture confined to North Carolina, a little bit in Virginia. The southerly flow will continue to give us the warm temperatures here in Detroit and much of the eastern half of the nation. But here's that cold front and those cooler readings behind it. Now, look at the breakdown for tomorrow. You see 40s and 50s where that cold front was, and that's all moving very slowly to the east, but we'll be in that southerly, summer-like flow tomorrow with readings around 80. I'll be back with our forecast right after this.
It's Sears Thrifty Monday, open early at 8 a.m. Save 10 to 50% on every regular priced item in the store. Thrifty Monday starting at 8 a.m. at Sears.
Z-Bart asks, can your new car dealer pass the truth and rust test?
Do you have genuine Z-Bart rust protection?
Sure, it's Z-Bart.
It's just like... Howard, Z-Bart uses 2 gallons of sealant. Do you? 2? 1. Does your warranty cover the whole car like Z-Bart? The whole...
If your dealer doesn't have Z-Bart rust protection, say...
I'll take it to Z-Bart.
Go Z-Bart, the car improvement specialist.
Save $100 on the Z-Bart Gold Shield Protection Package now.
These days, airfares seem like a great deal until they start stringing you along with advanced reservations, Saturday stayovers. Change your plans and you could lose your ticket. And though there are lots of strings, there may not be a lot of service. Only Jet America cuts the strings for unrestricted low fares everywhere we fly, or even lower fares with 2-day advance purchase, and always with our personal touch service. Pick up the lowest fares with no strings, only from Jet America.
Premium quality just became more affordable. All wall side windows are triple insulated. First with a rigid vinyl frame, second with a special airtight seal, and third with a heat reflective sunglass by Ford. Buy direct from the wall side window factory. There's no middleman, so you'll save money. And if you call today, you'll have no payments till July. For a free estimate, call the wall side window factory at 272-4400. That's 272-4400. You'll save money. Let me prove it.
Hi, Rich Hall here. Party crashing. I see you guys are having fun with these new Flintstone kids glasses you can get at Pizza Hut for 49 cents each. I really love that Freddy glass, Ryan.
Dabba dabba doo!
What do you think, Renee? Pretty bedrock, huh?
No, real bedrock.
What's your favorite glass, Patrick?
Wilbur!
Pizza Hut has a different glass every week, so at 49 cents each. Mom and Dad, you could collect all 4 for your kids. Any comments?
Dabba dabba doo!
Well, here's the story. It's up and then it goes down. Enjoy tomorrow. 78 to near 80 degrees here in Detroit. Then 74 for Tuesday as that front starts moving through. Then we'll really drop a high of 60 on Wednesday and then climb back up to the middle 60s by the end of the week. Across the state right now, look at Houghton. They're still warm up there. 68 degrees at this hour. 57 at the Sioux, 51 Traverse City, 62 in Flint. Here at City Airport, we've got 63 degrees and the skies are as clear as can be. They'll stay that way tonight, too. 59 officially at Metro. No winds. The air is calm. We've got a steady barometer and our relative humidity is 78%. Here's our forecast for the rest of the early morning hours. Clear and mild with a low of 50 degrees. Then for tomorrow, Monday, sunny and warmer with that high near 80. Looking ahead to Tuesday, increasing cloudiness, slight chance for some showers, and a high of 74. Then we'll fall just a little temperature-wise for Wednesday, Thursday, climb back up around Friday with more showers in the forecast. So, terrific weekend, and we can only get better again tomorrow.
No complaints from us.
Yeah, we'll take it, eh?
Other than the fact that it's Monday and we're all working. But hey, you can't have everything, right?
That's right.
Finally tonight, where are we going to go?
Oops. Okay. These are some of the stories developing tomorrow, and Action News will be following them for you. A decision is expected in the arbitration case involving the Detroit Police Officers Association. Also, the attorneys for 2 teenage boys charged in the brutal murder of a Canton Township girl they'll be delivering their closing argument. And National Steel announces a $500 million reinvestment in its Great Lakes division. The Downriver plant employs about 5,500 workers. Don?
Finally, tonight, 25-year-old Lorraine Page was a little bit upset. She was on her honeymoon, and she hit the jackpot on the slot machine in Las Vegas, but the machine wouldn't dispense the $250 she thought she'd won, so she complained to the management. She was politely informed that she had not won $250, but she had actually won $1.1 million. Lorraine and her husband of 10 hours had planned to live with her parents to save some money for a home. Now they're going to start looking for a house of their own. Her husband says he wants to buy her a nicer diamond ring. And I guess he should. Lucky lady.
Bet that's an anniversary they'll celebrate every year.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for joining us this evening. Stay tuned for Jay Berry and the Sunday Sports Update coming your way in just a moment.
And also have a good week. Good night.
Hi, folks. You know, He Point Dodge has been in business over 17 years, and in that time, we've helped almost 30,000 people finance new and used cars, and we can help you, too. So if you need help with the financing, you need help with the down payment, you folks need help with the monthly payments, we can do it for you. Point Dodge, and I know you can't beat these fantastic terms. Like this 86 LeBaron GTS or Buick Somerset, $99 down and $146 a month. Folks, come on down and see us at Point Dodge. We can help you, I promise.